once again.
Right, so we just got another call, and it's a Mazda with a wheel bearing problem. So we're on our way there now. We're driving there, and we'll take you on the journey. Just about a half a mile away, should be there any minute. Looks like that should be the car. Red Mazda. First we'll hydrate, then we'll demonstrate. Let's get to it. So we're going to get it jacked up. Let's get a stand underneath here. A lot of rust underneath this car. It's been painted over, but doesn't really hide it. This car's got some special wheel nuts with a key here for it. And I don't know if you can see there, but it's not the best fit. So this might be fun. I think actually what we're going to do is just stick this wheel back on, have a little feel, because it doesn't seem to be a wheel bearing gun on it to me. Customer's got his own part and he's told me he wants it fitted here. Can't see anything wrong with it. So we'll have a look at the other side, maybe he's got mixed up. Got a little bit of brake pad rubbing, but it doesn't seem to be a wheel bearing gun. I think we might take it for a drive. On the test drive we can hear a little bit of a hum from the back passenger side there, so we will go ahead and change that. First we have a 14mm bolt here on the caliper. I'll open these. So I've just loosened that up a little bit. Once I've loosened it up now, I'm just gonna get a screwdriver in here and just try and wiggle it so the caliper is not tight now. Can move the wheel a little bit freely, so we should be able to slip the whole lot off by taking off the caliper holder bolts. They're this down here. So we'll open them up now. Now that bolt's out, there's another one down the bottom here. See if you can see that. It's a bit dark. Just in here. And it's such a good design, like the subframe, or the rear trailing arm, sorry, is right against the bolt here, so we can't get a ratchet spanner on it. I just have to do it like this. And open it bit by bit. we'll get that off. Okay, there's not a lot of room down there, so we're gonna just take off the caliper so we've got a little bit of better access. Take off the caliper separately to the holder. And after just a minute of driving this car down the road, the caliper is burning hot, too hot to touch. So we'll have to see why that is. It seems like we've got like a binding maybe on the caliper. And these bolts seem to be taking forever to get out. So these slider bolts, they are stuck on, but someone's only just changed the brake pads and discs, as you can see there, not so long ago. But look at the state of that. No one's greased that up or nothing. It's seized in. They've only been fitted a few days. Now we've got both of them out. See, they were both seized in there and they're just in a terrible state. So we'll have to clean them up before we put them back on. I'm just going to tap this cap off, and we'll get this bolt off in the inside there. Just in that little section there, you got a little indent to lock it in place. We'll just get something in there and knock that out, straighten it up, and we can get a gun on it, open it up. There we go, that's done. Because we're having a bit of tight space in the back here with this bolt, what we're going to do is just like pull the whole hub forward slightly and get that in, and we can undo that just a little bit easier. I'll just come down there and show you what I mean by that. So you got the bolt here, just spanner's getting caught because we've got quite thick spanners. I'll show you what I mean by that. So the spanner head is quite thick and it's catching on the frame here. It's just making it a bit difficult to. Now we've unloosened the bolts and we've taken out the caliper bolt, the retaining bolt. We slide it all forward and it just pulls it in snug, and we can get the spanner on there a little bit easier. And we've unloosened that all the way. You can take the caliper holder out. Remove the brake disc. Now we're going to just hit the back of the bearing from there. I've got that out. But now we're left with this collar on the stub axle there, so we have to figure a way out to get that off. And we have this tool here, Milwaukee M18 FDG. It's a big old rotary tool with a carbide bit on the end. So we're going to grind off a little indent in here, then we can smack it with a hammer and get it removed. If you can see there, just cut a little line there along there, make it a little bit deeper, and then we can get a chisel in there and crack it open. Now we can try and give it a few taps. We'll just carry on giving that a few more to crack it open. Once you've cracked it enough, you should be able to bang it enough to get it off, because you've then split and it's lost the pressure. Now we've got the new bearing here. I'm just gonna get it, press it on. And we'll just get a big socket just to put over the top and try and hammer it on evenly if we can. side socket in the middle. Just make sure that the bearing is pushed together nicely. That is turning nice and freely. We'll get our big bolt back on there. And then we will tap this back down. Lock that in place again. Tap back on this cover. Caliper and the disc and the caliper holder fit up in one piece, so it's all sliding in. Get the top bolt back in here. Get the caliper retaining screw back in. Oh, we're in the wrong area for that. Take that off for a minute. Caliper retaining screws there. Just line up this one. Get that back in there. Just get this holding on first. Makes the job a little bit easier. The caliper's just holding steady. Two of these bolts back in. Get this top caliper bolt back on, caliper holder. Now this bottom bolt, if you remember at the start, I don't know why, you know, sometimes your brain just don't function properly, but obviously it's got that hole there. I was having a bit of trouble with the spanner on there, but I don't know why I didn't think to just get a deep 14mm socket and then go through the other side there and just get onto it. It's a little bit easier. Of course, that's why they put the hole there. Just makes it a little bit easier. Now these two caliper slider bolts that we took out, just got them in a vise here in the back of the van. First we're just going to use a rag to clean them up. Clean off any residue. They shouldn't need really sanding down because they're nice and smooth. It's just dirt on them, you know, grit over the time they've been in there. And we'll grease them up before we put them back in. Let's put our lid down on our drawer unit here. Let's get some grease and we'll grease these up. Just help them slide a little bit. We also noticed on the car as well the brake pads were seized onto the shims or the hardware, whatever you'd like to call it. So we'll grease them up as well. So just in here on these little chrome bits where the brake pad goes together, so you've got to use a screwdriver to get them out. Quite tight. Just need a little bit of grease on there, I think, just to grease them up. So we'll use our brush again, and we just come back over here, just touch up the edges of these. You shouldn't really have to grease these, but they're too tight. I think it's because they're painted, and the paint obviously affects how they slide. Another thing you can do is just file off the paint, sand down the paint off these little lips, just there and there. Just the pads pushed in there, nice. Slide this in here. Just now tighten up the caliper slider bolt. Get them back on. It's tight. Another rust left behind. Now we can just get the wheel back on. That's it, all back together. One car back on the road. Riley's Autos, keeping you on the move.